In this video session, I'm going to show you an actual merchant services application. So whether this is the first time you're getting set up to accept credit cards, or if you're just looking for a change and you're going to be getting quotes from different companies, this video will really help you. Although every company has a slightly different application, different paperwork, they're all very generally close, and you should be able to relate to this, and it should really help you out. And of course, you can always reach out to me, and I'm here available to help you. So, um, in order to get set up with an application, unless you're a sole proprietor, you're going to need a corporate legal name, and you have to register this on a yearly basis in most states um, to stay eligible as a business. So you're going to have a business name, and you want to make sure this is typed in here exactly right, because since 2011, merchant service companies, they have to submit your credit and debit card sales to the IRS. And if this information is not correct, you're going to be penalized by a merchant service provider, and the fee can be a lot. It can be up to $50 a month if you don't have this right. So definitely, take the hassle out of it and make sure you get set up the correct way. So you're gonna have your corporate address. You're going to have contact name, contact phone. It's important for the contact name. You want to put anyone that you want to have the ability to call in and access information. So it could be your administrative assistant or your partner who's just not signing this paperwork. You want everyone that is part of your business that you rely on to be able to call in for your merchant services. So definitely add more than one name here. Business email. You're going to get emails from time to time. So you want to make sure it's it's the email address that you actually use. Chargebacks, notifications, all sorts of notices will be going to your email. So you want to make sure it's your email. Federal tax ID number. Again, you have to make sure this is right. Otherwise, it's going to be a hassle. You're going to have to fix it at some point because you will be penalized. This stuff needs to be correct. Tax filing name should be the exact same name as your corporate name. And then you want to just fill this out as accurate as possible. The date your business started, how long you've owned the business. Your DBA name is, you have the freedom to choose your DBA name. It's really your corporate name that needs to be correct for legal purposes. But your DBA name, you can pretty much make up whatever you want. That's what your customers know you as. You're going to put your location address. Of course, this is very important because when you get your credit card terminal or your online portal, it's going to come programmed with your location address. So unless you want to go through the headache of having to change all this, make sure you take the time and you get this stuff right. You want to put as much information as you can, your business website, whether you have multiple locations. When you receive important notifications like a retrieval or a chargeback, where do you want this to go? To your corporate address or your location address? These are little things that are often overlooked, but where do you actually check your mail? Where do you check it most often? And that's where I would have this type of documentation sent to. So here's where you're going to choose with your LLC, partnership, S Corp, C Corp. Again, this needs to match because we send all this information to the IRS each year, so it needs to be accurate for filing. So here's where whoever is taking responsibility for this merchant application, typically you need someone who's more than 51%. And even at 51% or less, it's smart to have two owners on this paperwork. And towards the end, I'll show you're going to need both of their signatures. So you're going to fill out all your information. Social security number depends on the company whether you need to input that. Most do need it nowadays. You can talk to the company or your agent who's setting you up. This part is so important here. The nature of your business. You need to make sure you have the right business type because interchange fees are the cost of credit card processing, but depending on your type of business, you qualify for different interchange rates. For example, healthcare has lower interchange rates than retail. Grocery stores, like supermarket, has much lower interchange fees than restaurant and retail. And there's reasons for this. For supermarkets to compete, they're running so many transactions, different size tickets because everyone's purchases something different in a supermarket, and so they are favored to reduce their cost when taking credit cards. So if you're a grocery store, you could qualify for one. Maybe you're not like a big Publix or like a Walmart grocery, but you might be able to qualify for these interchange rates. So this is so important here. You want to talk to an expert, feel free to give me a call and I'll be able to help you out. We can turn your convenience store into a grocery store by just doing certain things, and you'll save thousands of dollars a year on your credit card processing. So then this is what the requested monthly payment card volume. So if you already take credit cards, you know what this stuff is. And if you don't know exactly, you get a monthly statement, and whoever's looking at that should be able to tell you all this. But it's important because your requested high payment card ticket, if you're an automotive shop and you run transactions for $5,000-$6,000 once in a while, and you're set up for a $1,000 average ticket, that means when you run a card over $1,000, it's going to get caught up in the system, and your money's going to be on hold. Depending on how fast your agent reaches out to you or you reach out to the company and get it taken care of. I've talked to businesses that have had their money held for more than a month, and that's just not acceptable. So make sure you get this part right. If you take cards for over $5,000-$6,000, over $10,000, over $20,000, you need to make sure it's notated on here. That way, when your application is approved, you know that you can take a card for that amount. So important. That's why it's the same with the monthly payment. If you're set up to take $10,000, but you really do $50,000 a month in credit cards, you're going to have a problem. So definitely double check this aspect. Card present, card swiped. This needs to equal 100%. Most retail stores are like 90, 10, or 95, 5. But if you are in the business where you take a lot of cards over the phone, like an accounting office or an AC company, or a lot of you have your agents out in the field, but then they get the credit card information and you key it in later on, whether on reoccurring payments or something like that. This needs to be filled out correctly. If your internet, all your sales are through your internet site, you need to have that percentage correct. And there's a lot of reasons for it, and I'll get into that here in a second. Description of products or services sold. You want to fill this out so it's accurate. That way you get put in the correct interchange class. Describe your return policy. This is important, and you want to make sure that your return policy goes on your credit card receipts, whether they're electronic receipts or paper. This is really important when you run into chargebacks or dissatisfied customers. You want to make sure your return policy is on the receipt. You're going to need your banking account information. And I don't recommend that you fill this out. I recommend you just give the agent a voided check and have them input this information. That way they can do it when they're submitting the application and make sure that it's all correct. Of course, if you want to put it in, that's fine. But you don't know where this paperwork is going to go when it leaves your place of business. So I would just give them a voided check, let them fill it out, submit it, and then dispose of it. This is page 2 here, and this is the pricing page. So, depending on the type of card you want to take, if you want to take American Express, you'd have to check this. If you want PIN debit, etc. The type of pricing structure, besides your interchange classification, this could be just as important. But you want to make sure that you're set up with the right type of pricing. If you go to our website, onequestpayment.com, we offer 3 types of pricing because they cover the wide variety of what any business would need. They're the best types of pricing. So this is checked off as pass-through. This is also called interchange plus pricing. And we also use this for our subscription-based pricing. So interchange means that you're going to pay whatever the cost is of the credit card coming in plus a slight markup above that. So every transaction has the same markup. Tiered pricing, we don't even offer this because It's really garbage pricing. You might be offered a low rate of like 1.6%, but they don't tell you about the second tier, third tier, fourth tier, and it's really penalizing. Flat rate is good depending on the type of business you have and depending on what your goals are. This could make a lot of sense. That way you can really budget what your credit card fees are going to be every month. And then enhanced recovery reduction, just totally stay away from this. This shouldn't even be on applications anymore. But it's still sold to merchants because it looks good depending on how someone tells you, but it's really awful pricing and you're going to end up paying way too much. And then discount payment method. So there's daily or monthly. We typically set our clients up on monthly, and this means that you get all your money the next day. So if you process $1,000, you're going to get $1,000 in your bank account the next day. Daily discount means that if you process $1,000, we're going to take a percentage of that $1,000 out and fund you the rest. So you do $1,000, we fund you $985, depending on the rate. The reason why I don't like daily is because with monthly, you get to make better use of your money. You get all your money, and then we take the fees out one time at the end of the month. It's a lot easier for reconciliation. Daily reporting, daily discount, we're taking fees out of every single batch, and it just becomes a mess. And you can look at it on your statement, kind of, you can figure it out. But if you don't know how to read your credit card statement, it's not a good way to go. It's really tough to keep track. Credit card companies will kind of increase this daily percentage, and you'll end up paying a lot more on credit card fees than you need to. But some businesses like it that way because at the end of the month they don't get hit with a big lump sum of fees. But if your bank account is managed and you always have money in your bank account, you definitely want to go with monthly discount. So assessments and brand fees. This is part of interchange. It's the brand fees and the brand fees assessments. And if you're on Interchange Plus, it doesn't matter how this is billed, but we bill it separately just so you have the different line items on your statement. So it makes everything so transparent. You know what every single fee is. You don't want things bundled together in credit card processing because the fees are there no matter what. Okay, if you bundle them, it's not transparent. You can't separate them and see how much they're marking you up. But when everything is separate, you can see what the markup is. And for Interchange Plus, I'm just going to go along with this because it is the most popular pricing that we offer. For check card qual, let's see here, for pass through. So check card and credit. This would be zeroed out right here, but this would be filled in. So sorry, this and this, and it goes through for each type of card. So a common rate would be 50 basis points. So it would be 0.50%. And depending on your volume, we're going to work with you and we can negotiate this markup. But now you know that you're only paying, in this case, 0.50% above cost. If you wanted a subscription plan like what I talked about before, this would all be zeroed out and we would just charge you an $80 fee per month. So you're just paying $80 of markup for having a company process your transactions and fund your bank account, provide your equipment, maintain your equipment, etc. Anything that you need, we just charge an $80 fee. With Interchange Plus, a lot of times we'll get it less, so not even paying $80 a month. So that's why there's different types of pricing, and that's where there's so many competitors out there because they all price a little bit differently. You want to make sure you're working with someone transparent. The transaction fee. Now we're going to go down here. So for American Express, if you want American Express, OptBlue is an unbelievable program. It's the best program out there for taking American Express. The rates are very, very competitive. So close now to Visa, MasterCard, Discover credit cards. In fact, they're really, really close to credit card rates. So we recommend taking all types of cards because people like to use their American Express, and you give more options for payment, you're going to receive more payment. So authorization fees. So here's where you're going to have an authorization fee. Make sure the company you work with, they're not going over 10 cents a transaction. If you're paying 30, 40 cents a transaction, that's really, really high. So this is where there should be a separate line item on the paperwork for the transaction fee. For American Express, for PIN debit, if you're taking PIN debit. For EBT, if you take EBT, which is food stamps. Electronic AVS is when you have to key enter a credit card. What are they charging you? So if you key enter a lot of cards and you have a 10-cent transaction fee and then they charge you a 5-cent for this, you're really going to be paying 15 cents per transaction. Voice authorization, these fees are like really not important because you're not going to be using them. If you need to do a voice authorization, you're going to be calling in the voice auth number, and there's a fee for that. It's roughly around $1. So, but these fees, maybe once a year, twice a year, you have to do that. If you do a lot of voice authorizations because you deal with a lot of fraud, then, or let's say maybe you're in a hotel business and you want to just authorize a card or make sure it's legitimate because they're going to be paying after, then negotiate your voice authorization fee. Voice AVS is the same thing, address verification. So it's if you want to call in the office and they're going to look up the address on the card and make sure it matches what the cardholder gave you. That could be very handy for your type of business, so you can negotiate that. But for other businesses like retail where you're swiping 95% of the cards, you probably will never do a voice AVS. Monthly minimum. A lot of companies will charge a monthly minimum. And what this means is if they don't make a certain amount of money on their interchange plus their markup in their transaction fee, they're going to have a monthly minimum in place. And that might be $25. So if their markup plus their transaction fee doesn't equal $25 in profit, they're going to take the difference. So let's say they make $10 in profit off of their pricing structure. Their minimum is $25, so you're going to be billed an extra $15. So definitely check out what this monthly minimum is. Some of these other fees just depends on your type of business. Industry non-compliance fee, you're going to be charged $19.95 if you don't do your yearly PCI compliance. So get that all set up beforehand. Before you get set up, say, hey, look, are you going to come in and help me do this survey? Make sure your agent helps you with this stuff. Take advantage of them, because look, they might be saving you a little bit of money by switching, but then you don't do these certain things and you're going to get billed for them. So really, really important. And that goes as well for your business corporate name. If that doesn't match with what the IRS has on record with what you fill out, you're gonna get hit with some other fees as well. So these are just some optional fees right here, and you want to reduce as much as this as you possibly can when you're going through. It's like a batch fee. That's when you settle the machine at the end of the night if you have a basic terminal. But even if you have a POS, it's going to automatically batch. There's a batch fee a lot of companies will charge. So make sure that's reasonable. Most you're going to batch is 30 or 31 days in a month, if you do once a day. So, make it reasonable, 5 cents or less. Chargeback fee. These are fees that, unfortunately chargebacks happen. You want to negotiate this, get it as low as possible. Standard fee is about $25. We offer our clients a $15 chargeback fee and a $5 retrieval fee. And usually it's about $25 and $15. So we bring that down to our cost. Annual fee. Make sure there's a zero here. You don't need annual fees. MX Merchant is an awesome program that we offer our clients. It's an online terminal. So if you want a demo of that, give us a call and we'll walk you through that. And it is very little cost, and sometimes there's no cost to have that extra benefit. Other fees, EBT, Voyager, Right Express for fleet, ACH check services. If you want, our online program actually allows you to take checks through the internet. Gift card, go through all that equipment. You want to make sure that this is deployed by your sales rep or your merchant services company. You got to stay away from leases. You don't want to buy terminals. There's so many people out there giving them for free, including us. Stay away from purchasing these credit card machines. If you have a complex POS system, that's one thing, but still definitely you want to negotiate the price of that. Moving on here, if you key enter, or if you're an internet business, more than 30 or 40%, so it's 30%, you need to fill out this part of the paperwork. So you want to make sure, basically if you're an internet business, what type of business are you? And then if you're not an internet business, you just key enter a lot of cards. How are you advertise your billing methods? Are you charging monthly, yearly, quarterly, one time, hourly? All important. You're going to have to list names and addresses of vendors. who performs your fulfillment, and then you want to describe how sales takes place from beginning to end. So this again is only if 30% or more of your cards are key entered. You'll have to fill something like that out. Your agent should, if they see your place of business, they're going to sign the site inspection, just saying that they saw your business and everything looks legitimate. This is just going to help you with getting approved with underwriting. This is where you're going to sign. So there's like a manual about 25 pages, and it's a lot of just lingo. But a couple of things you want to make sure before you sign on the dotted line. Okay, you want to make sure you're not leasing any equipment. Number one. Number two is you want to make sure that you're in a month-to-month agreement. And it should be listed on the paperwork. I didn't even go over this, but on the pricing page here, you'll see, in the event that this agreement is terminated early, merchant will be responsible for the payment of $0 early termination fee in accordance to Part 4, Section A3 of the Merchant Program Guide. So basically what it's saying is it's a month-to-month agreement. You can cancel at any time and you won't have to pay anything. So, you want to go over this, but you're going to have to sign here. Most applications require a personal guarantee now. And it's for the merchant services fees. It's to protect the processor, because we're a bank. We are processing your transactions, and then we're taking money and funding it to you. And then we don't get paid, like I said, on monthly discount. We don't get paid those fees till the end of the month. So there's a lot of risk involved, and that's why we do a personal guarantee. On all the years doing this, I haven't had any issues with merchants signing this or any problems with a merchant services agreement, because it's pretty standard. It's all through your bank account. So we process the money, we fund it to you, and then we just take the money out of your bank account. It's all ACH. It's not like you're paying bills and so forth. And if you process a certain amount of transactions, that means you're going to have money in your bank account to pay those fees, because the fees are just a very small percentage of the credit card volume. And then typically there's a confirmation page. You want to read this over, and you're just going to sign on the dotted line. And that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions, give us a call. We'll help you. We'll help you set up an agreement that makes sense for your business. And we'll be happy to look over any potential contracts or applications that you're possibly going to sign, and we'll point things out for you. We're here to help you. And the reason why we like to look at your processing statement, which shows your volume and your fees beforehand, is because we're not gonna try to make you switch if we can't really help you out in terms of saving you money and providing you more value. And when we look at your current processing statement, we see what kind of structure you have, pricing structure, what kind of interchange you're on, and we customize an application for you. These applications come blank, as you saw here, and it's up for the expert or your sales rep or whoever's setting you up to fill out this application in a way that's going to really help your business out. Of course, we're here to make money too, so there's going to be a markup, but the markup that we make is peanuts compared to the savings that we offer our clients. We want to keep you for long term, and we deal with a lot of merchants. So all that we ask is that you provide us with some referrals once we help you out, and once we help you start saving money, and that you see that we're here to monitor your account and answer questions. And when things happen and you need our help, we're here for you. So I hope this video helped. I hope it was educational, and definitely give me a call. My number will be in the description below if you have any questions. Thanks.